Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. I'm here each and every day at 8 a.m. And this whole program is about changing your thinking because we understand that everything begins with our thoughts. It doesn't begin with the material, it begins with our thoughts. Everything does. And so the only way we can change our thoughts is we ask better questions. We ask ourselves things that stimulate us to say, why do I believe that? Why am I doing that? Why am I having that? And so today, I've been really focusing on the idea that people walk up to me and say, Reverend, spirituality is my number one value. And I go, it is. Well, that's great. I said, so how often do you meditate? Well, I squeeze it in when I can, maybe once or twice a week. Well, how you doing with your forgiveness work? How you doing with your gratitude work? How you doing with your study? And I get haphazard answers. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Spirituality is not their number one value, because what you value most, guess what? You've developed a discipline for. So the question you should ask yourself is, where are you most disciplined in your life? Because if you can answer the question, I'm most disciplined here, that will tell you what you value most. You see, you can't fake this stuff. You just got to ask the right questions. One of the questions I ask when I do the value determination process, when I do a session with someone, one of the 13 questions is, where are you most disciplined in your life? So this is really a good bullshit meter, isn't it? It's an absolutely great bullshit meter. Someone says to you, I value this. And you say, okay. And you say, so how are you disciplined in that area? Well, if they've got no discipline in that area, how do they value it? I value health. Well, okay. How many times did you eat fast food this week? How many times did you go to the gym? Well, I didn't have the time, so fast food was really easy. The gym, well, was just a little later. I couldn't make it in. It's not a value. It's not a high value. It may be a value, but it's not a high value. And see, what I'm most concerned with in my life is living up to my top 3, 4, 5 highest values. Those are what determine my destiny. My number 2 value is teaching and speaking about love, practical spirituality, science of mind. That's why I'm talking to you. My number 3 value is building community and intimate relationships. That's why I'm talking to you. My number 1 value is spiritual self-actualization. Well, what am I talking about? Do you see how doing what you love, who else gets up and does a daily podcast like this every day and loves doing it? I don't know many. Well, I know Joe Rogan loves what he does because he does it. It's not a chore. It's not a burden. He absolutely loves it. Loves it. And you can tell when people love doing what they're doing. You think Guy Fieri likes doing diners, drive-ins, and dives and grocery games? You bet he loves. He loves being on camera. He loves food. And it appears he loves people, at least the people that you see him with. So he's doing what he loves. And what's he getting in return? More of it. And he's being richly rewarded. When you do what you love and you're of service to others and you bring value, you will be richly rewarded. So what is it you love? What is it you love to do? Where are you most disciplined? Where are you most disciplined? Great question for the day. What are the top 3 things you are most disciplined in? That's the best question. Top 3. Can't bull. You can't fool people, because people who are awake, they're going to say, wait a second. You say you're most disciplined there. I don't see that. That's one of the things I do with my wife. I'll say something and I'll say, these are my most disciplined. And she'll look at me and say, well, yeah, you're always doing them. Misty Wood out there, she says yoga. So Misty, are you doing yoga every day? Probably are. You got a big smile on that happy face there that you posted. I used to love yoga. I used to love yoga. I had it as a part of my daily routine. I did it 5 days a week, but then I got away from it. So I realized it's not a high value for me. Ruby, Ruby says, I discipline my mouth from speaking ill about others. Well, Ruby, speaking kindly is a wonderful thing. It's going to get you so much better. And I think Ruby was from Malaysia. And look at that. We've got Nicola. Nicola's from Scotland. My God, we're getting people from all over. And we do have people from all over. So that's wonderful. See, the message we're talking about here, it's universal. It's worldwide. It's not demographic specific. Being disciplined. And, that's what people say to me. You're one of the most disciplined people we've ever met. I am in the things that value most to me. That's what's important. And then now we've got Henry checking in from Nigeria. And he says, happy birthday tomorrow. That's right. Happy birthday. Tomorrow's shall I say it? Shall I say it? Happy birthday. Tomorrow is my 70th birthday. I can't believe it. I'm going to turn 70. I'm not that friggin' old. Wait a second. Who's that guy in the camera? That's not me. I don't look that way. We've got Misty Wood checking in from Switzerland. And then we've got Antoinette from Los Angeles. That's another country in and of itself. Los Angeles. And tomorrow, I'm going to be giving everybody in the world a gift. You know what that gift is? I did a talk a week and a half ago. A talk on, I'm calling it one of two things. What is agape? And I'm calling it what is love? And in the 70 years of my study, and I've been a student of love all of those 70 years, I put together all the stuff that I think love is. And so tomorrow, what I'm going to post on Facebook, I'm going to send out in my to my daily thought people. I'm going to send them out the link to that talk. I'm going to post that talk. And if you're hearing me and you want to give me a birthday gift and you get that talk, you see that talk on YouTube or you see it on Facebook, the best gift you can give to me is to share it. Make that talk go viral. People need to understand more about love, that it's not conditional, that this whole idea that it's a warm, fuzzy feeling, that's not what love is. Love is pure connection. It's balance. So anyway, I'm getting all sorts of things about good. No way are you 70. Thank you, Brandy Johnson. Love that you said that. And all the wonderful wishes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All I did was live. Well, I didn't do nothing. I just lived. My mother did the work. She's the one who had to spit me out 70 years ago. She was a tiny woman, so God bless. Give my mother credit for that. I learned to let go. Never be anxious concerning what I want to happen. Just believe it's due and it's on its way. You know what? Being unattached is one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself, because it's going to save you a lot of misery, a lot of things. I did something yesterday where I went out, met with a individual, waiting for the proposal to come back. You know what? Whatever comes back, comes back. I'm not attached if it's a yes or a no. because I did the work. So, gang, what do I teach? Here's what I teach. Here's a spiritual practice. Oh, your daddy and I share the same birthday, AV. I love it. Here's a spiritual practice. This is the practice of life. Pause, pray and ask for clarity, listen, and act. Pause, pray, listen, and act. And you're constantly repeating it over and over and over. That, my friends, is the cycle of life. That, my friends, is conscious creation. That, my friends, is taking back control of your life. Pause, pray, listen, and act. Pause could also be meditate. Meditate. Here's the only prayer that I really pray these days, other than I'm grateful. I pray for clarity. That's what I pray for. What's in my highest interest? Does unattachment and love can be done at the same time? Well, in order to be loving, you have to be unattached. The two are synonymous. You can't, if you're attached to something, you're not loving. Because what is love all about? Love is about freedom. First off, you've got to be free to be yourself. You've got to have your own freedom. Now, if someone comes into your life and they want you to do it their way and it's not your way, that's not loving. That's trying to control you. That's the ego trying to get itself fed. So remember, being unattached, I'm not attached to what my wife does with her hair. I'm not attached with what my wife eats. I'm not attached with where she goes. That's her business. Henry says, what's it about me that waking up at 3 a.m., 3:30 always? Is there something about that? That's really interesting. I'm up at 3 every day, between 3 and 3:30 every day. And what I do, Henry, is I listen. That to me, 3 and 3:30 is a sacred time. Your mind is really calm. You're not contemplating the day. I think that's a great time to just sit and ask a question and listen and let the universe answer. Don't fight it. When I wake up at 3, I get up. I ask a question. I'll get an answer. And then I might go back to sleep. Most of the time I go back to sleep until 4:30. Then I'm up. That's when my day starts, 4:30. So people say, why are you in bed at 9 o'clock? Because I've been up since 4:30. That's early. Anyway, I have gone way beyond what I normally talk on a daily basis, but I did it because you guys are exciting to be with. So, hey, I can tell you something with all honesty, and I'm disciplined in this because I say this every day to you. If no one else tells you this, I love you and I accept you just as you are. So go create your great day, everyone. Until tomorrow, aloha.